Forget about one hits, tier 100 pit with a Necro, and just AFK standing into everything and tanking it all. Yes, the new Bone Storm Golem Shadow Summoner, being able to take it right into the face without going down. To give you a real feeling for how efficient it actually is, watch me beat this tier 100 while my gear is actually ass. I mean, 4 times masterwork weapons, boots, gloves, pens, not even masterwork. Sure, the chest is amazing, but the rest of the gear, subpar, and yet not being one hit. I did try a similar version already of this one with the Bone Storm, just in the normal shadow without the basic skill. So if you're essentially just keeping up with the Blood Mist, and you would use the Blood Mist to essentially then trigger like more skills and everything. But the problem is, if every build I played with the Bone Storm that is not using Blood Orbs, like, kind of gets stuck resummoning the minions all the time, and that just annoys me. I mean, sure, you're anyways using your minion thingy to trigger the Flesh Eater node, but I just hate seeing my minions just be dead the whole time, and you're essentially being forced to go for the Flesh Eater node. You know? You're literally like consistently running around with like 2 or 3 minions dead because they just keep dying to everything. Like this, they just don't die. What's the best Necro build for pit and or bosses? The Golem build. In this season, honestly, whatever build you play, just add a Golem to it. You play Bone Spear, just play Bone Spear with Golem. You play Bloodlands with Golem. Blight with Golem. Like no matter what you're playing, just add Golem to it. Because dude just has a scaling beyond belief. Which is great, because until this season, I don't know if you've been a Necromancer player before, chat, or if you just joined because of the hype, but until this very season, it was always, you know what we're going to do to the Golem? We're going to sacrifice them. Oh, you know what? We made a minion build work, but we're going to sacrifice the Golem because it's not worth it to keep. Let's sacrifice the Golem. Yes, Golem sacrificed. 30% bonus critical strike damage. Fantastic. So there has literally never been a single second where anyone was like, you know what? We should keep him. You know, he's great. We like him. He's a Giga-chan. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not. No one wanted to keep him. He was the most unloved child in existence. He was the middle child. The actual middle child of the minions. No one paid him any attention. Can you make Bone Spear work this season? Yes, but with minions. Bone Spear with minions, right? And it would take 0 Uber Uniques to make it work. Why does everyone always think it takes Uber Uniques? Uber Uniques are horrible this season. I'm sorry you're still stuck in like last season where actually Uber Uniques were something you wanted, but that time is over. Okay. We're past the need for Uber Uniques, which is good, because who wants to like constantly need like one weird item that doesn't even have like suboptimal stats often just for one effect, right? We're finally past that phase. Now, obviously you could say, but Pony, they're Uber Uniques. They're supposed to be Uber. Yeah, the only Uber about Uber Uniques is the rarity, I guess, still, and that's about it. Right? I mean, there are very niche case scenario items at this point that are useful in niche case scenarios, to be honest. I mean, they're still useful. Don't get me wrong. There's still like things you can do with them and certain builds you can pull around with them. But yeah. I mean, for some builds, Harlequin Crest is still good. I guess for other classes, the Necro too, but wait, we're Necro, right? Could you switch to Iron Golem for the boss fight for bigger damage or no? No. I mean, Blood Golem is doing triple damage versus bosses. I don't know if you missed the memo, but the thing why we're using Blood Golem is because Blood Golem's ability does 3 times the damage if you're fighting only one opponent. Which means that if the enemy is alone, well, guess what? Heavy damage assured, right? Let's see, this boss is usually someone where you gotta dance a little bit around at least to avoid like some of the hits, right? But I don't want to avoid any of the hits. Give it to me bloody and raw. I like this arena though, because this arena allows you to usually dodge the Lilith in the middle quite nicely. Oh, that wind. Oh, that's going to be interesting to actually see. The wind always one-hits people, right? And I'm at the point where I kind of like just want to get hit by these things, but we also just said that we want to finish the dungeon, so should look out to not get hit by that thing right now. Oh, I don't have my barrier up right now because I was waiting for my barrier to be up right now. Aha, you don't suck me in. Sorry, lady. Kind of awkward because we have him coming with his fire. And at the same time, the wind lady from behind. Oh, I was in the corner. I couldn't be hit by anything. Oh, she's there, but the wind exploded. Unlucky for you, nerd. We got winded, so we needed to look out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bonus damage. Bonus damage. Right, wind lady from the left, Elias from the right. That's the moment where you die usually because you're kind of like, you're not paying any attention to that. Hey, by the way, chat, what's your opinion on like these boss echoes like spawning inside of walls? Huh? Have you had that before? You know, when they literally spawn inside a wall and you don't see them? Like the wind lady, for example, she can like spawn inside these pits in the middle, and then well, yeah, she just does her wind ability and it might just blast outward and actually hit you. I mean, the same as like they could actually spawn inside the boss. Ta-da, pit 100 done. So they could spawn inside the boss. Now, what do we do to get this amount of damage reduction? No, we're not using the 30% damage reduction golem. That would be an option, but you really don't want to lose that triple damage you can do against the bosses. The real change is in the skill department, and we're actually using a basic skill, Hemorrhage, to make blood orbs with a faster attack speed. Huh? Yes, we'll get to this because it's working. On top, we're boosting the skeleton mages. We're getting the tons of armor. We're getting our damage reduction from close and bonus movement speed to be able to walk out of everything. We need to get fortified as fast as possible, so 3 points into necrotic carapace. And then we're playing Bone Storm with a prime Bone Storm for the damage reduction. Very important. And to always have the Bone Storm up on our ring is currently the Fast Blood ring. Blood Orbs reduce your ultimate cooldown by 2.2 seconds, which will get the Bone Storm cooldown vastly reduced, so we always have this running and never run out. Now you're going to say, wouldn't the aphotic aspect with Decrepify be enough because that's kind of triggering 100% lucky hit chance? No, we tried that out. It didn't actually work good enough. The Fast Blood aspect was doing better together with a basic attack, and especially every single blood orb you get heals all your minions. And as we're not playing Army of the Dead, our minions would technically continuously die and make the aspect of reanimation where they have to be alive for 10 seconds kind of useless because they die, you resummon 10 seconds, they die, they never get the damage bonus actually running. Not with this, they always stay alive. On top of this, we tried running 2 different weapons. One has the Bone Storm duration up. This one actually increases the Bone Storm duration on you and on the golem. If you're, for example, playing the Osseous Gale aspect, that only increases it on you, not on the golem actually, which is kind of weird. Or we had Skeleton Mages cast twice. Here we would rather have the minion attack speed, but sadly I didn't have that weapon available. Follow that up with the 240% bonus damage, and since we're using a Bone Storm as ultimate shadows, we're stacking that up faster than ever. Now quickly to the question if sword or scythe. A sword is doing lesser damage per hit max, so the max of your golem is also lower as everything is multiplying up. And yes, the 35% critical strike damage is not really making up for it. That being said, I only had a good sword, so that's why we're playing a sword. Now for the second ring, we get ultimate cooldown reduction. That was kind of mandatory. And then we have the ultimate shadows to turn our Bone Storm into a darkness skill that it can then stack up our barrier nicely, function as bonus damage too, because it's working around our golem and me as a double damage source. And I can literally stand next to our golem to continuously provide him with the bonus of Hellbent Commander for the super boost. Then again, ultimate cooldown reduction and golem damage, and we're currently having the aspect of reanimation on our necklace to have our lats hurt as much as possible. Keep in mind attack speed on the ring, attack speed on the ring. And yes, in this case, attack speed on the gloves as well, together with the conceited aspect for another 25% bonus damage multiplier that also goes over to the minion as we have barrier. And well, we do always have barrier. Since we're running the Bone Storm aspect plus the Golem Master in our chest, which is currently +5. And I think if I upgrade this one more time, it should actually go up to +6, which is going to be nasty. Then you can temper for barrier generation, that the barrier you're generating generates harder. So you really just get hit, instant generation, get hit, instant generation, and can therefore stand in any kind of elemental damage that the elites do without dying. This gets followed up by a new pair of pens, which is currently completely ass. As you can see, you want Skeletal Mage Mastery instead of Fire Resistance, Barrier Generation, but chance for Hemorrhage to form a Blood Orb. That's what you really want to temper, because if you get one of these and then temper it upwards, the chance for Hemorrhage to make Blood Orbs goes up to 100%. So every Hemorrhage essentially makes a Blood Orb. The boots are literally just put to be on. You don't need the essence per second, the corpse skills, or anything. Nah, we get some blood mist movement speed, but we're playing here the hulking aspect, so the golem reduces even faster. Now, that being said, this one can easily be put over to the aphotic, that you're essentially getting even more cooldown reduction and have the Bone Storm up faster than ever. Have been running both on and off, and end of the day, hulking was being a bit more consistent, but might have just been the flavor of the moment. Now the Pans is playing Hardened Bones for that bonus 25% damage reduction with a 15% from the Bone Storm, which is needed. And currently I have my replacement helmet on that is not the Harlequin Crest. But you want the Harlequin Crest as your helmet for that huge damage reduction bonus together with the Hardened Bones. It doesn't give you any bonus damage, which is annoying, but it provides you with that cooldown reduction and, well, another 20% flat. And that then together with the Decrepify, which is another 20%, plus actually the 4 bonus ranks making it 24%, we're stacking up very nice. Adding in the Paragon board, the Territorial Glyph is another 10% damage reduction against close enemies. And don't forget, as we get fortified, that's another 15% too. With the bonus critical strike damage, so we can do the bonus Kajooms. And here we're taking the maximum life, that we have as much maximum life as possible. Just get it. Just get the max life. You need them all. You want to pump this up. You want to be sitting at 40,000 max life, which is kind of mandatory to avoid the one hits. Cult Leader with the Debt Razor for the bonus damage. Then we're getting for the Golem damage and bonus attack speed, because that brings the Golem easily to the 100%. Creep out some bonus armor if it's needed, if you're not getting a bonus armor roll. With the Corporal Glyph for the bonus movement speed to walk out of any danger if needed, but usually you just stand close to the danger because it doesn't matter. Then the Flesh Eater Note together with Amplify for the bonus curse damage. We're moving through the Scent of Death board, which does provide us with bonus damage reduction because we're always leaving up those 2 corpses to have even more damage reduction. And yes, we're getting the Golem Glyph here only with 25 out of 25 willpower, which is a bit sad. But we also wanted to go into the Blood Baguettes board because we're triggering Blood Orbs all the time. And these Blood Orbs heal everyone. And these Blood Orbs provide us with another 15% multiplicative bonus damage to everyone. And that works out quite nicely in this build to just give us even more kaboom. All in all, this is weaker than the full Golem 0 cooldown Slammer, but it is safer to play and probably more chill to farm with. I especially tried out my Super Scythe on this one, and it literally doubled the clearing speed. So just get a very good weapon and master worked out. Now, if you're more interested in set 0 cooldown Super Slammer, there's the video and also the tier 110 clear where it just flew through. Enjoy, and thank you for watching. Appreciate it.